On today's episode of Nostalgic Nick-Nacks, I'm going to be bringing you part 2 of my Switch JRPG Collection. I'm so happy that everybody loved the video last week, and this week I'm bringing you part 2. I've got some real heavy hitters here, some excellent releases, remasters, remakes that the Switch has had, so I'm so excited to talk about it. Let's go ahead and dive into the rest of my JRPG collection. I have a couple of titles from my nostalgic retro collection. So I have the best on the PlayStation, very controversial when it came out, but this is the sequel to Chrono Trigger, Chrono Cross. This is the Radical Dreamers edition, and I played a little bit of this, loved Chrono Cross. Both me and my sister were flabbergasted with the fact that this game had hardly anything to do with the original title, but here it is, and you know, it's great in its own right. So we've learned to love Chrono Cross as its own unique creation. Love it or hate it, it's beautiful and glad they put it out. Still waiting for Chrono Trigger though. Then we have Saga Frontier Remastered. This is a great game. Has kind of that Live Alive Octopath Traveler thing where you're playing different characters and on their journeys, and each character has their own story. So really cool. Definitely a product of its time, especially with the battle system. But if you want to pick it up, I think you'd have a good time with it. This is Hironobu Sakaguchi's title with Miss Walker that finally came to consoles. So there's Fantasian, Neo Dimension, and this is a great game that I've heard a lot of wonderful things about. I couldn't tell you if I like it myself, but I love everything I've seen and can't wait to dig into it at some point. Let me know down below, have you tried Fantasian and what do you like about it? I think it's really cool that it finally got a console release, and Sakaguchi, we need you for more excellent RPGs. So I played the first one of these games and really enjoyed it. Haven't quite finished it, but this is the second one. And it's Ni no Kuni 2, so I played Ni no Kuni. I actually have the digital version of it. This is Ni no Kuni 2. Heard a lot of great things about it. Ni no Kuni 2, I need to play it. Love the anime aesthetic and how the first one actually had Studio Ghibli working on it and creating some of the animation. Really cool stuff. Check out Ni no Kuni and Ni no Kuni 2. Games that are always on sale. The next title I have is Tales of Symphonia. This game actually had a botched release on the Nintendo Switch. Originally came out on the GameCube and was a great title. I didn't play it back then, so I'm very curious to see what kind of a game it is. I played it a little bit, but I'm definitely looking forward to delving more deeply into it. It's really great on the Switch too, so check it out if you haven't. It's all patched up and works great. Okay, so the next 3 games that I have are all Mario related. So these are RPGs from the Mario universe. So first off, we have an all-time great, such a cool concept. I'm talking about Super Mario RPG. I never thought this game would be released on a modern console, and yet here it is, totally remastered. I really enjoyed my time with Super Mario RPG. The original title was really great, The Legend of the 7 Stars. I'm not sure why they took it off with this version. Maybe to differentiate it from the original, but you know what? I love it. I love what they did with it. I love the original pixel art, and if you're curious about more of that type of pixel art, check out my video. I believe it will be over here, and I made fuse bead art for Super Mario RPG. I'm looking forward to doing more art in the future from this game. I love the original pixel art. This was really cool to go through again, and with all of the quality of life features that it added, definitely worth it. And great to revisit it. The next title is a continuation of the Paper Mario series. It was Paper Mario Origami King. We actually got this in a strange time during COVID, and there was a trailer shared for it, and then it was released about a month after, and we didn't even see it coming. Didn't know that Paper Mario would be coming out. But Paper Mario, I did not like the battle system, but definitely still need to finish the game. I love the paper aesthetics, all the paper craft in it. It's really cool and very creative and funny. And then we have the one that released on the GameCube, Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. I've never played through this game. I played through the first one and really enjoyed it, and never got to play through this one on the GameCube, so very curious to see how it is. I've heard a lot about the battle system and of course how funny it is, so looking forward to jumping into Paper Mario and the Thousand Year Door. Next up, I have a modern title that made a lot of news everywhere. This is an indie title, and I actually got the limited run version. So there is Sea of Stars. If you haven't checked out Sea of Stars, really excellent title. Played through the whole game. Haven't played through the DLC that has been released by this time. This was a really cool release for limited run. Of course, I still have it sealed here because I actually got the digital version before the physical, and I'm going to keep this sealed, and maybe one day it will be worth a whole lot. I know originally when these first came out it was worth like $500. Now it's about $200, but definitely going to keep it sealed because I already played through the whole game. I highly recommend Sea of Stars. Great Chrono Trigger aesthetic. Battle system was really great. Story did not quite equal what Chrono Trigger was able to achieve, but good in its own right, and the pixel art is fantastic. Never played Tactics Ogre growing up, and I was very excited to jump into Tactics Ogre on the Switch. I played a good bit of this game. Have to get back into it after Final Fantasy Tactics, but really cool. So great strategy RPG as Triangle Strategy and Final Fantasy Tactics. So cool, lots of voice acting in this one as well. Okay, the next one was quite the treat to play through. I never played through it growing up because it was never released in North America till the remake, Live Alive. I loved my time with this game. Such great, interesting stories, everything from sci-fi to the prehistoric past, kind of giving me Chrono Trigger feelings as I was playing through it. But it also had that Octopath Traveler mechanic where you're playing through the different characters, and the characters, not spoiling anything, but the characters do interact with each other at certain points. But each story has its own set of characters. Really cool. I've actually done some Fuse Bead art sets for this game, so check those out. And memorable characters, excellent voice acting as well. Isn't it great that we live in a time where we have so many games that have voice acting? Never had it growing up, but till Final Fantasy X, that is. But now it's every title that's released, so check it out. Live Alive. The next two titles are really fantastic. So we have the successor, the spiritual successor to the Suikoden series. We have Eiyuden Chronicles, and I have a video I put out about a month and a half ago comparing the Switch 1 and the Switch 2 versions. Now if you have a Switch 2, Eiyuden Chronicle runs very, very well. The loading times are almost not there. This, another title unfortunately that suffered when it was released, and I have to say it's been patched up a lot, but the Switch 2 definitely did some legwork to get this title where it needs to be. Love the pixel art in this game. Love what they tried to do with the story. Of course, it didn't reach up to the original wonderful story of Suikoden 1 and 2, but it did have a great story in its own right, really creative characters, and of course collecting 108 characters or over 100. And speaking of Suikoden 1 and 2, I had to pick up the original titles here. We have Suikoden 1 and 2, and these are excellent classic games, and I was so thrilled to have both these games on one cartridge. And played through Suikoden, got to play through Suikoden 2, my favorite. I played through both of these games back in the 90s, loved them, didn't collect all the characters, but still really had a great time. And they're excellent games, excellent pixel art, excellent stories, all about war, all about betrayal and love and friendship, and all these wonderful themes that you definitely need in a story. So check out Suikoden 1 and 2. You can't go wrong with these games. I can't believe that this year I actually had the Suikoden 1 and 2 collection and Lunar 1 and 2 come out, and I really enjoyed my time playing through this game again. These are two games, Lunar 1 and Lunar 2. So we have Silver Star Story and Eternal Blue. Excellent games. Had a different battle system to them where you're moving your characters along the little map, and you had to kind of strategize a little bit to make sure they're in the right place to avoid attacks and to do their own attacks and group enemies together and all that sort of thing. But so much dialogue that was written for this game. Funny thing that I always remember from these games, you can talk to a town person over and over and over again, and they'll say different things. So a lot of great writing, very funny, excellent story of adventure. Highly recommend Lunar 1 and 2. Plus, it has a reversible cover. So there's the front side, or the back side, and there's the front side. So last but not least, I've got my collection of Final Fantasy games. Love Final Fantasy, love the series, love everything about it. And I've got almost every one here except for 12. So if you're new to Final Fantasy is a series that reinvents itself almost every iteration, and recently has not had the best games, but in the past, actually absolute king of JRPGs. So I'm going to start here, of course, with the Final Fantasy 1 through 6 collection. This is the Pixel Remaster collection. There are 6 games in this. You can buy these individually on the Switch eShop, but excellent if you can get the physical version of all 6 of these games. My favorites were Final Fantasy 4 and 6, originally Final Fantasy 2 and 3 in America, and so many nostalgic memories playing through that, growing up with my sister. But playing through this, I've really enjoyed my time with Final Fantasy 1 and Final Fantasy 2 just because of all the great quality of life features that they included. The pixel art is beautiful, the story is wonderful, and I never would have played through these titles again if it weren't for this remaster collection. Check it out. Final Fantasy 1 through 6. And then from there, you can move on to Final Fantasy 7 and 8. Oh, what can I say about these games? They're wonderful. These remasters didn't have the best backgrounds. They kind of have blurry backgrounds compared with the characters that are really high definition. But excellent if you never played through Final Fantasy 7 and 8, as well as Final Fantasy 9. So all of these excellent titles. Final Fantasy 9 has a brilliant story to it. They really all do, and I love having them in my collection. I just cannot get enough Final Fantasy. Speaking of Final Fantasy, we've got Final Fantasy Crisis Core, an excellent title. I never played it before, never played it on the PSP, and never had a PSP, so didn't play it. But this is kind of a continuation of the Final Fantasy VII series. Very excited in the future for Final Fantasy VII Remake on the Switch. Got it pre-ordered. I know it's a game card, but I gotta have it. This is a great title because it kind of ties some things together. Really wonderful on the Switch 2, much faster, more responsive. So check it out if you have a Switch 2. You can probably get a really good deal on the eShop, but buy it physically. You can't go wrong with physical. And then we have 2 more games or actually 2 more cartridges, but 3 more games. So finishing up Final Fantasy, we have Final Fantasy X and X-2. These 2 are wonderful games. My sister played through most of Final Fantasy X-2. I played through most of 10, but saw her play through 10. These are great games. First games on the PlayStation 2, really the first games that we ever experienced with full voice acting. Quite a different experience back then in the early 2000s. And excellent stories. You can't go wrong. I just recently saw that this was on sale for $24. So I bought it, I think, for $30, $35. Can't go wrong with anything below that. Check them out if you haven't ever played them before. Really beautiful stories. I can't say enough about it. So Final Fantasy X and Final Fantasy X-2. And last but not least, my most recent purchase, Final Fantasy Tactics, the Ivalice Chronicles. Love this game so far. And there's so many quality of life features that they have included here. And check out my video, I have it linked up here. And I did a full review on this game, and they have really brought a new fresh coat of paint to this wonderful title. I love it. I love everything about it. It's fresh, it's clean, and it's beautiful. So check out Final Fantasy Tactics. $49. Not bad for an excellent story and excellent gameplay. It's very addictive. So there you have it, everybody. Those are all the JRPGs physically that I own. And maybe I'll come out with another video soon of the digital purchases that I have on my Nintendo Switch and now my Nintendo Switch 2. I hope this collection video really inspired you to go out and maybe seek out 1 or 2 of these titles. I cannot tell you how great it is to be able to re-experience these games of my childhood on the Nintendo Switch. It is such a magical experience. And if you're somebody who is experiencing your childhood again and reliving all of that nostalgia on the Nintendo Switch, I want to know that. Let me know down below in the comments. Is this a renaissance for you just like it is for me? I really appreciate all of you tuning in to today's video. If you want to see more content like this, please leave a like and subscribe to my YouTube channel. And if you all didn't know, I create fuse bead art for all of these retro games that I love. Here is a black mage that I made from the Final Fantasy Tactics sprite, all out of fuse beads. So if you're interested and you want to make something like this for your game room, it's very inexpensive compared to those displays you can buy. So check that out if you're interested. You can learn something new and be very artistic at it. I pray that you guys have a fantastic day. And until next time, go find some excellent Nintendo Switch JRPGs and have some happy gaming.